So a lot of people have asked me, what do I think? And I'm scared. It's not that awesome when 70% of your pipeline gets wiped out overnight. It's a scary time, but it's also a time of opportunity, a time of great movement, and a time that we can work together. The two areas in commercial that I see having the most movement is the big guys, the big corporates, and their landlords just showering them with everything that they want to stay in their spaces. It will seem sort of bad form for companies that have let some of their staff go, then to turn around and spend 200 grand on a fancy fit out. So I think those companies will definitely evaluate how they are spending their capex and how, as a company, they can move forward. It'll be also interesting for them, in that same token, looking at the space that they have and evaluating how the last sort of 5 weeks has affected how they work. Perhaps they need to have some more dedicated spaces for Zoom conferences as opposed to massive traditional meeting rooms. Perhaps the IT companies might get a little boost in sort of implementing those through the back end. Secondly, which is an area that we will probably have the most force in, I guess, is maximising space. Some companies, have met their lease obligations and they're free to go, and they don't want to renew their spaces. So they're looking at downsizing a little bit, but not missing out on anything that they need as a company. So we'll be there as sort of small space advisors, making sure that they can maximise everything that they need in their new spaces. So that's a really cool space for us, and I'm really excited about that. But I'm also realistic, people's leases don't just run out overnight, so this is going to be a bit of a slow burn. There's going to be some unfortunate companies that just leave because they can't make it through, and so there'll be that sort of immediate sort of rush. Then as leases sort of pop up, people will start to evaluate what they want as a company. And then there's the ghost workers, and they're generally people that haven't had a specific office because they have been travelling. They will need spaces to work from now that we sort of are basing ourselves in our little island here. And then lastly, there'll be a bit of movement from those people not wanting to work in the co-working shared spaces too. I don't see a huge drop off. There will be potentially some minimisation in terms of capacity, but I think overall it's just going to be quite a steady sort of burn, and some areas will thrive, and that will be really cool to see, and hopefully we can be a part of it. So far this week, our sites are all back up and running, and it's just great to see the hum of construction come back into our industry again. And I think we need to work together to get those leads in. So, as an interior industry, we're pretty bad at giving each other work, or just communicating and sort of evaluating, okay, is that actually our core customer? Perhaps there might be an interior designer better suited for that project. So I think it's probably about us sort of talking to each other as well in the industry to really sort of make it strong, just like Donald Trump, make it great again. Those are the days. But I'm pretty excited and optimistic. We already had some inquiry come through this week, so that's really cool to see. But let's bring on the next 3 months, and it'll be definitely interesting to watch that commercial space grow.